In this exercise, I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to combine paths that end in smooth points. The first time around, we're going to join two open paths and we're going to retain the smooth points. The second time around, we're going to close off an open path and we're going to keep one smooth point and convert the other point to a cusp. I've gone ahead and saved my progress as twoopenpaths.ai found inside the O9 Pen Tool folder. And just so that we have a clear idea of what's going on here, I'm going to go ahead and press Control-Y or Command-Y in the Mac to switch back to the preview mode. And I'm going to take these two path outlines right here. Notice path and path. Let's go ahead and call the first path, this guy right there, I'm going to call it Big Open Lips and click OK. And I'm going to call the second one Lip Fragment, just so that we have a sense of what's going on. And I'm going to meatball both of them. So I'll meatball one, shift meatball the other, and I'll go ahead and fill them with yellow because ultimately that will be the lip color. And we do want the stroke weight, by the way, to be 2 point, not 3 on these lips, like so. All right, so we need to join these guys together. So currently, by the way, do I still have active paths going? I do. Look at that. First of all, I don't have an X next to my pen tool cursor, and if I hover over this point right there, Illustrator will tell me that it's about to join the two of them. So Illustrator will not keep your path outline active when you nudge a point by pressing an arrow key. But if you go ahead and rename the paths, apply a different fill, and meatball them here inside the Layers panel, then that doesn't affect Illustrator at all. That's just amazing. Anyway, I'm going to press Control-Shift-A, Command-Shift-A on the Mac in order to deselect the paths. That definitely deactivates them. And for starters, I'm going to join this point right there to this point. So I'm going to join these two open paths together. And I'll start things off. Notice if I hover over this top endpoint, I'll see a little slash next to my pen tool cursor, thereby demonstrating that the cursor is ready to activate the path. So I'll go ahead and drag from it. Don't click on the point or you'll slice off that control handle. Instead, drag to keep the control handle, even though what you're really doing is just dragging it back to right where it was in the first place. So it's a little duplication of effort, but it's what you have to do here inside of Illustrator. And then notice if I hover over this endpoint, the endpoint that's associated with the lip fragment path, then I'll see a connect icon next to my cursor, and I'll go ahead and drag down. Do not drag upward. Remember, we're sticking with a counterclockwise drawing direction for the length of this path outline. So drag downward like so. Now notice that that makes the control handle that's opposite of my cursor. It makes it a little too long, so I'll come back a little bit. I'll ease off. That does not affect the length of the control handle under my cursor. Even though you can't see it, that control handle remains the same length. Notice if I drag down there, you can see that the control handle is as long as it ever was. I'm changing its angle, but I'm not changing its length. Anyway, I'll go ahead and drag to this location there, and then I combine the two paths into one. The new path adopts the name of the original path outline, the one that I had first started to extend, and that one was called Big Open Lips. All right, now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and close off this path. So I'll drag like so. I can't really see my template anymore, but I think my control handle is right about there someplace. And that goes ahead and reactivates the path. And now notice if I hover my cursor over that other endpoint, I'll get the little circle next to the cursor that shows me that I'm about to close the path. And if I drag, I'll close it with a smooth point, which is not what I want. Notice that it's impossible to reconcile the angle of these two control handles. One wants to go at about this angle, that is the top left control handle. And then the bottom control handle wants to go at about this angle. I still need two control handles associated with this point, but I need them to be independent of each other. So what I need is a cusp point. So I'll go ahead and undo by pressing Control-Z, Command-Z on the Mac, undo the creation of that point. And rather than dragging on that anchor point, I'll press the Alt key or the Option key on the Mac, and I'll drag. And by Alt dragging or Option dragging on a Mac, what you do is you create a new control handle that's independent of the existing control handle associated with that point. And as a result, we get a cusp, which is technically a corner point with two independent control handles like so. And that completes the lips. Just to confirm that we have the right placement on those control handles, I'll press Control-Y, Command-Y on a Mac. Things are a little bit off here if I want to exactly match my original lips. So I'll press and hold the Control key, the Command key on a Mac, drag that handle up just a little bit like so. And this looks like a pretty good match. We have completed the lips, my friends. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to the preview mode by pressing Control-Y, Command-Y on the Mac. I'm going to press Control-Shift-A, Command-Shift-A on the Mac to deselect the lips. And I'll scroll down my Layers panel, unlock the Ancient Image layer, turn off the lips.psd, turn back on linked file, which is the actual tracing template. Why don't we go ahead and name that tracing template so that I can keep track of what it is that I'm working with here. Click OK, and then go ahead and lock that layer back down like so. In the next exercise, I'm going to show you how to draw a combination of smooth points and cusp points on the fly.